Welcome to the Payday Parlays podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and this is your other host.
I'm Zane.
And we're just some regular guys that coming at you talking about sports and betting sports and just everything that we love about sports.
Any opinions shared are of our own. Don't always follow our betting advice. It's probably terrible. But at least it'll be entertaining to watch us lose a whole lot of money.
Exactly. Follow us to lose our money.
We're betting on a budget, so you're not going to see these huge ticket items out there. $5, $10, no way parlays. I've coined the term a 4x4 off-road ATV parlay where we're talking 4 games, 4 different sports when it happens. We'll find some of those throughout the year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And besides subscribing to this podcast, you should also visit our website, paydayparlay.com, where we also post articles, everything free. We don't hide behind a paywall. You don't just after a couple months have to pay a subscription. Everything's free. And then you can read the articles. We'll post videos, and you can subscribe to an email list, and it'll let you know whenever we post an article.
We want the fan interaction. We want to hear your takes off of our opinions, our feedback. We want to see your big wins or small wins or huge losses. We're already off to a nice start. Looking at what's going on almost 3 weeks now with active online sports gambling in the state of Virginia. So we're really just getting our feet wet at this point.
Yeah, and speaking of wins, didn't you get a win tonight, Zane?
Still ongoing, but it looks likely. Actually, I think it just wrapped up. It looks like Kansas State did cover against Texas on their home court. So they were the 13.5-point underdog there. They did cover that 13.5. I did have them at the spread. And they put up a fight, actually, coming down to the wire. That was a nice win. Earlier hit VCU versus Dayton. VCU swept Dayton. Beat them for the second time, and had them on the money line as a slight favorite against the Flyers. So that was another nice win. Do you have anything you were keeping your eye on tonight off the college basketball NBA slate?
I wasn't really looking at anything tonight because unfortunately I am in North Carolina. And so we do not have online gambling right now, but I do live close to Virginia, so I do head up to make some. So wasn't looking at anything tonight, but
Gotcha.
I did have a fun weekend. How about you, Zane?
It was good. So I just had a intuition, a revelation here. This is why you invited me to be a part of it. You don't have the access to constantly post picks and bets, so we're going to take Zane's money and throw it up each night just to keep the content going. Got it. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to be making several drives up. I just haven't been able to go up as much as I would.
You'll have to take one day a week to go up, and then just take all your picks for the entire week in one day.
Exactly. And we will be doing that this Saturday. I'm going to have an ACC basketball parlay. I think I'm going to just hit a bunch of home teams on the money line just to go with my article that I already wrote, which is on paydayparlays.com. Make sure you visit.
Highlighting that article, what was that? Kind of just highlight a brief overview of what you were talking about there for those that haven't read.
So the ACC home teams are winning at a historic rate in conference right now. They are winning at around 72-ish%, I think it was, at home. And that is up about 10% from where the last 10-year average was. And so if you're really looking at betting ACC basketball, you really want to lean towards the home team on the money line. Against the spread, it's still about 50-50. They're still hit or miss, but on the money line, home teams are winning at a historic rate. And with the way this year is going, some teams they're not even getting that many away games like we were talking about before the podcast. Florida State, how they're undefeated at home, and I think they're losing on the road. They've played 5 home games and like 3 road games, and so like with the scheduling and everything, it's all out of whack. But the home team winning is the only consistent trend that I've seen in the ACC.
That's a good tip to follow there. Good tip to follow. Which is, it's kind of strange though too, just where you don't have the necessarily home court advantage. You know, the Cameron Crazies at Duke or Castle Coliseum rocking in Blacksburg. To hear that the home teams are actually, or the home teams are winning by a higher percentage substantially this year brings into question as to why that's happening during a year where there are either limited capacity or no fans at all for most of these teams.
Yeah, it's weird because you would think that the home team would, not be getting up for the game, kind of like they don't have there's no like home court, like you were just saying, like there's no home court advantage. So you would honestly think that it would be the other way around, but
like literally just playing in a neutral environment kind of mentality or tournament environment. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
And also doing the research and then the article, the Big 12, when we were talking about before the podcast, that with some of their teams allowing fans, they're actually like out of all the Power 5 conferences losing the most at home. They have the lowest win percentage at home out of all the Power 5 conferences, which is just interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people would say right now, basketball-wise, that's one of the stronger conferences, if not the top conference in basketball this year, top to bottom. So and maybe that plays a factor, a bit more competitive maybe from top to bottom and changes that rate a little bit.
And the ACC has been down this year for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
When your best team is barely ranked in the top 10. But I did see an interesting fact today that the top 10 most winning programs in like the last 50 years, none of them are ranked in the top 25. Maybe it was, yeah. Because you think like Duke, Kentucky, schools like that.
Still got Gonzaga out there dominating. Weak competition, though.
And covering like great teams do.
Yeah, covering. Covered by a point last night, I think. Just a point, though. I think it was maybe 2, 10.5 or 11.5 point spread, and they covered by 1 or 2 points last night. How'd the big game go? Chiefs, Bucks, thoughts going into it, thoughts coming out of it.
So I actually played a really funny parlay. So I'm going to be starting a segment that I'm going to do every week. I'm going to have an article that's going to be attached to like what I'm thinking. And this weekend I played 2 of them because my lovely wife wanted to also like be involved. And so I let her help with like the Super Bowl because I felt good about a different parlay, but I'm going to be starting a thing I'm going to call the No Way Parlay, where I'm just going to throw like $10 at a parlay with ridiculous odds that I think could win, but the chances of are very slim. But I'm going to give you why I think that it could possibly hit, and wait for some funny memes for when the No Way Parlay hits.
Or how about some funny memes when you hit 0 out of however many picks you make?
Exactly. It's either going to be a joke or be the biggest hit ever. So, but so for the Super Bowl, the first 2 parts of the parlay were pretty simple. It was the Bucks to win the 4th quarter, which no one won the 4th quarter, but going in, I was thinking that I personally thought that the Chiefs were going to be leading in like possibly a Tom Brady comeback or one of his miracle last 4th quarter drives. down the field. And so I thought that could possibly be how the game was ending. So that's where I bet.
Or you thought maybe that the Chiefs were going to be in such a heavy lead at that point in the game that
Exactly.
the Bucs were just going to be airing it out and maybe closing the gap a little bit.
And so it was a three bet parlay. And so the second one was Mike Evans to get over 60 yards, 60 and a half yards. I thought that was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I would think so too.
And if you'd have told me going into the game that him and Chris Godwin were going to be non-factors, I would have told you that the Chiefs killed the Bucs, not the other way around.
I think the biggest thing out of the game is how good that Bucs defense is, period. I mean, they have been all year, but I think just in the grand scheme of things, people and myself really thought that Patrick Mahomes, the struggles that Kansas City had on the offensive line going into the game with a couple guys out, that it didn't matter. Patrick Mahomes would do his thing and make up for the difference, the gap there. So not enough credit was being given to the Bucs defense, to Todd Bowles. They didn't let Tyreek burn them, like they did the first time around, where he put up like 100 yards in the – I don't have the sheet in front of me. But
one quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like 100 yards over by the end of the first quarter, that first round. So, I mean, credit there for sure. And the Chiefs wide receivers just kind of looked off. They really could have helped their quarterback out, made a bunch of drops. Kelsey had drops, Hill had drops, Hardman had drops, and Patrick Mahomes ran for his life the whole night in the backfield. So,
yeah. And the last part of my no way parlay, which made it the no way part, was LaShawn McCoy to score a touchdown at any point. And the reasoning was, I had read, and these were actual quotes, that he was going to retire after the Super Bowl. I was thinking, if there was just by some shot that one team was ahead by a lot and they were close to the end zone, that on like the 1 yard line. And honestly, I had thought that all the way up because I also, just because it was fun, I threw $10 by itself on the side to win $250 if this happened. And honestly, it kept me engaged the entire game, even when it was a blowout, because I was like, oh my gosh, they're up by so much. What if they get to the goal line and they're just like, LaShawn?
There's the chance. That's fair.
And so, of course, that didn't hit. And we'll get into my other one later. Don't worry.
Yeah. My parlays did not go over well. I was heavy on the Chiefs going into it. Falcons fan, I just refused to root for the Bucs, and definitely refused to root for the Bucs led by Tom Brady. Still, I mean, I respect him, best all time. He's pretty much untouchable at this point in regards to where he stands on Super Bowls and the things he's accomplished in his career, but still don't necessarily want to root for him. With that being said, I had Chiefs money line, taking the under in a parlay, and just really thought that the defenses would show up on both sides. So probably keep the score a little bit lower. A lot of kicks. But the under still hit. Unfortunately, the Chiefs offense never did come around. And that also hurt my prop parlays too, with anytime touchdown prop that I did a parlay on. Gronk scored, Fournette scored. I had Hardman as kind of a sleeper there to get some touches and get a touchdown. Didn't happen. And then also had Kelsey to get a touchdown, which I thought was pretty much a given based on his recent form and history there with the Chiefs, but didn't happen either. So, yeah, my parlays fell apart because of that. The fact that the Chiefs didn't show up, offense didn't show up and perform, but the day was saved on single bets, straight up. I mean, from the kickoff, no touchback.
That was close because he probably should not have brought that out of the end zone.
It was close. And Butker, once I saw the Chiefs were kicking off, I really thought the chances were better if the Bucs were kicking off with Suckup. I think Harrison Butker has a massive leg, just as Pat McAfee followed their hammer down, and his show. He talked a lot about that bet, so that was part of my reasoning of taking it. Was he was so confident and has Super Bowl experience, and said that commemorative ball they kick off with is just not broken in, not allowed to touch it, hard to kick. So going off of what they were talking about on their shows, went with that bet and started off the night right there. Brady got sacked on their second possession. I had that as Brady getting sacked first in the game. Took that one. No touchdown scored on either opening possession. Cashed in on that one as well. And then that one was, and then also had Chiefs as the first scoring play of the entire game. A Butker field goal for the Chiefs, and that hit as well at plus 400. So salvaged the day, even though the parlays didn't hit, but the single ones covered and ended up slightly in the green for the night because of that. So that was nice. Could have been better.
Yeah, who would have thought that the Chiefs wouldn't score a single touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure someone made some money off of that bet of someone placing money on that line. I don't even know what that line was to see what it was for the Chiefs not to score a touchdown in the game.
Did you hear about the craziest betting news though with the Super Bowl?
Potentially, I don't know where you're leading into this, but I'm thinking maybe related to the streaker at the end of the game.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Did you hear about this?
I did. I heard some of it.
I don't know if this is true, but
there's a story going around.
Yeah, that there was a prop bet for some, that there'd be a streaker at the Super Bowl, and the odds were plus 350, and the dude put down $10,000 on that, which means that he won $350,000. And so he was the streaker, and it cost him $1,000 to get out of jail.
I'm going to be honest, if whoever the bookie was that took that bet or whoever was able to place that bet,
I would think that's what I was telling.
Surely there would have been some sort of a stipulation there that says it can't be you actually do it. But I just remember seeing that happening and seeing the Twitter feed. A couple NFL players, a couple of them different postings, all kind of saying the same thing. Like in a year where we didn't have fans at the stadium, of course we would have a streaker at the Super Bowl. This is why none of us can have nice things. Like this is why we can't have nice things, because fans are back and now we have streakers on the field again.
And I get why they do it, because they don't want to give attention to it to like make more people do it. But I wish they wouldn't just act like it isn't happening. Like everyone's like look, let's talk about it. Like
let's watch the dude get creamed.
Just like ignoring the streaker. Oh, there's a fan on the field.
I just if you see like some of the recorded videos of it, he slid at the 1 yard line. Just lay out for it. At least finish strong as you're getting dog piled on by 250-pound, 300-pound security guards chasing you.
Well, if he knew he was making $350,000, I bet he was like,
take a knee. That's a win. Victory formation. Submit. Well, yeah, that was some of the recap from the Super Bowl. Did you have any other action over the weekend leading up to the game? I did. I had Man City and Liverpool. I did play that earlier in the day to get me started for the day. Start on a good note, and just took Man City money line against Liverpool. I mean, they seem like they're almost untouchable at this point up top of the table in the winning streak they're on for Premier League footy and some soccer. And, of course, they blew out Liverpool. I also played the handicap draw, which is a +1. If the scoreline ends in +1 for either team, you hit that handicap draw, and it'll be a blowout. So missed on that one, but hit the money line. So that started off the day right, leading up to planting some of those Super Bowl wagers.
Well, that was my other no way parlay for the weekend. My actual, one that I saw the odds and I thought. So I also bet that game, even though that wasn't the first game in my parlay, but we'll talk about that one first. I bet that one to be a draw. And my thinking was that, Jurgen Klopp, this is a chance for them to get back, like they could gain some points. He's not going to let Pep Guardiola just completely destroy his teams. They're going to be ready. They're going to play hard, and it's going to end in a draw. And to be honest, I think we were talking before the podcast. I believe that score line is fair, even though Allison, made some dumb mistakes.
Yeah, second half was not pretty for the Liverpool goalkeeper there. Poor play out of the back, just easy turnovers coming right off of his foot at a crucial position. And Man City, with their quality, they're going to finish those wide open chances 99 out of 100 times. So
exactly. And like I said, I believe it was weird. Man City even missed the PK. He skied it. And
early in the game there
but I feel like
go up.
Man City controlled the game, and that score's fair.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, though, I thought it would be more competitive just because of the circumstances, and that's why I was comfortable with that just +1 handicap draw there and placing that wager because I really thought it'd be competitive. I thought still Man City would edge them out by a goal. It ended up being a 4-1 scoreline, not even close.
And so I had 2 more EPL matches with that. The first one was a game on Saturday, and I predicted the score for Manchester United 3-1. And so my thinking was
How'd that turn out for you?
Terribly. As a Manchester United fan as well, it was miserable. So
So you don't hold to the rule that you'll never bet against your rooting favorite there, your rooting teams.
I try to look at it objectively, and to be honest, the way I predicted the game would go was kind of how the game went. So let me give you my reasoning. I thought Everton was going to come out in a low block, which they did, and Manchester United was going to hold all the possession and take an early goal or 2 lead. What was the score at halftime, Zane?
1-0, correct?
2-0.
2-0, sorry. 1-0, 2-0.
No, you're good. It was 2-0. Exactly how I was like, and then Everton was going to go to the dressing room, regroup, and probably come out pressing a little bit and try to get one of those back. And they will give a good punch because they're not a bad team. They're a good team this year. And James Rodriguez has had a resurgence as a player. He's revitalizing his career. And I thought maybe they'll get another goal back, and then Manchester United will wake up a little bit and
finish the game,
score another goal, and finish the game and end it 3-1. And I really felt really good about that. Well, unfortunately, Everton's best shot, even though De Gea on that first one, but Everton's best shot came out to be 2 goals, and still Manchester United then responded and got that 3rd goal like I thought so. And if it wasn't for a mental lapse at the end, they would have won that game 3-2. So
finishes in a draw.
Yeah. Way to drop points.
Drop points.
Before, and Pogba's out now for a little while, so he's going to be out for a couple weeks.
Jeez.
So things are just looking great. But at least you can't really complain being second on the table, though, right now. With Man City's form, we're the only team that's in striking distance of Man City. So
yeah, Liverpool's done. Their hopes are done with that loss. So
it's a 2-1 race, and it's really not even close right now. It's really a 1.
And then to keep it interesting, you just start watching for those Champions League positions again.
Manchester United has a pretty good, comfortable gap though at 2.
Yeah.
No offense to Leicester, but I like Jamie Vardy. So.
Yeah, he's trying to get back in form too. He's been coming off the past 2 matches that I've saw with Leicester. He comes off of the bench a little more towards the second half. So I assume he's just trying to get back in form and
Yeah,
get back to full time.
And James Madison's not bad. He's a little midfielder. He's probably bigger than me. Little midfielder.
Little feller.
In the third match, and honestly, this one also, none of the three matches, by the way, this is why it's the no way parlay, guys. This is not this is win big, but being okay with losing a little bit of money. So the third match, I thought Chelsea could win by more than one goal. I picked them +1. And I thought they would, because they've been under Thomas Tuchel, they've been struggling to score. And I thought they would really, against the worst team in the league, would be really trying to impose their will on the other team and score some goals. And they won 2-1. And Thomas Tuchel, he's doing a good job, but they are still not as impressive as like the talent that's on that team, in my opinion. Chelsea
That's
fans
fair.
are probably going to be like, oh, he hasn't lost yet as a manager. And it's like, he's doing good, but you're not scoring enough goals with all that attacking talent.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. They're too strong up front to not be putting up more goals consistently.
Yeah, and the problem under Frank Lampard was they were getting scored on too much. Which were fun games to watch. They were losing 4-3 and stuff like that.
It may be a position where he stepped in, the manager there, and wanted to just flip the script and play a bit conservative and completely redo things out of the back first. And then as time goes on, see more of the progressive.
And he's been playing
up front.
3 center back, a 3 back line, like a back line and just a 3 back line, and 2 sixes, 2 defensive mids in front, which is he's been really trying to protect. You take away a little bit of your attacking punch when you play Jorginho and Kovacic at the same time, or Jorginho and Conte. Conte gives you a little bit going forward, but he's still like a 6.
Moving forward this week, not much soccer plays during the week. A lot of cup stuff going on, cup tournaments and whatnot, and just I don't know. It's a lot of rotating players, so I'll stay away from it until the weekend hits again.
Yeah, I'm really going to probably be playing ACC basketball this weekend. I have a parlay that I'm getting, which will be an article this week, so check it out on paydayparlays.com. And
nice plug.
Shameless plug. But there, if you're into the prop bets of guessing if certain players will play play at all or start, I do think Zach Steffen for Man City, who plays tomorrow. I think that's a possibility because they play Swansea, who's in the championship. They're the second division. Then I would also just sticking with U.S. men's national team. And these also, again, don't take our betting advice. This is just what I these are just things that I think could possibly happen. Jordan Morris to start, possibly, for Swansea.
That would be a headline to watch.
And then Paul Areola to appear for Swansea. Doesn't have to start. Because they didn't pay that money not to play them.
Also true. I'm excited for U.S. Men's team right now, soccer-wise. It's looking strong. We're getting a lot of development across Europe right now. A young talent coming up. I think it's promising for the World Cup cycle that'll come up for when United States hosts with Mexico and Canada, of course, for the World Cup cycle there here in a few years. I think we'll be in prime development at that point with what's happening and taking place right now. Obviously it's hard to project that far out, that many years out, but you got to be hopeful at this point. It's looking better.
I agree 100%. And to be honest, not that I would not put any money on this. Like, so again, don't take betting advice. But the United States in the 2022 World Cup, I wouldn't be surprised if they made Final 8. Like, I genuinely think they have that kind of talent. Even now, they are young though. That's the problem.
Also depends on the draw. Sometimes you got to have
That
a nice
is
little
true.
break with
That
the
is
group draw
true.
too.
That is true.
Assuming we qualify, right?
Yeah, let's not get ahead of
dude,
ourselves.
I don't know if we can jump too far ahead considering our recent history.
That is true.
Soccer-wise, but
that is true.
Um,
We're American, not stupid.
Getting ahead of ourselves there on that topic with U.S. men's soccer.
I do think they have a good squad, though. That's all. That was more of meant to be like a compliment to the squad that we did.
I agree,
and
I'm sure the women are tired of. I'm sure their backs are sore from carrying the nation for a little while.
Yeah, that's true. Weston McKennie probably is the most impressive player though this year. You would have to agree, right?
Oh yeah, playing alongside of that talent at Juventus. Uwe.
Their midfield is a little weak, but the best thing, like if you read all the stuff that's written about him, it's all the midfield could work except for Weston McKennie and like they could do better except for Weston McKennie. He's doing everything.
Like he's there.
And
he's already there. Everybody needs to catch up.
Yeah, and he scores important goals.
So right now, as we are recording this, I have a pretty large late night hockey parlay in play right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
So what we're looking at, the way things are falling, we got a couple games in play. Lightning, Predators. Lightning took them on the money line. They're up 3-1 starting the third period. So that one's definitely in play. Blackhawks, Chicago Blackhawks, Dallas Stars took the Stars money line. They're deep into the third, about midway through the third period, tied at 1. So we need the Stars to edge it out some form or fashion. It can go to shootout for all I care. Just win.
Yeah. How much time is left in the third period? Sorry.
Looks like most recent update, I don't have it live, but about 10 minutes left. The biggest one in this parlay, though, Anaheim Ducks, Vegas Golden Knights. I took the puck line, not the money line. So I took the 1.5 in favor of Vegas to cover. So they have to win by 2 to hit it. That really helped the odds boost there. And then also Jets, Winnipeg Jets, Calgary Flames took the Jets as a slight underdog. Money line tied at 0 at the end of the first. So all these games are in play right now. $10 down. And let me check my odds here of that.
And by the way,
plus 2,076. So $10 down would cash out at over $200. And we're in play right now, so we got a shot at it.
I like it. And that's what we like to do, guys, like betting on a budget. And that's going to be one of our segments each week. We're both going to have a no way parlay that we're going to lay down $10 and we're going to tell you why we think it's going to work. And it's going to be big odds to win. Like, going to try each week. We're going to try to give you something that could game changer.
That big weekend.
Or either you get to watch us lose all of our money trying to win these ridiculous. Like, there's a reason the odds are not in your favor.
$5 and $10 at a time. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, right?
Exactly. You get to watch us bleed out slowly.
Payday parlay. They lasted for years, but eventually the cash flow ran out. $5 bets at a time on a nightly basis.
But if you want to know how Zane's parlay ends up, his hockey parlay before next week's episode, there'll be an article about it. And where can you check that out at, Zane?
You can check that out at paydayparlays.com. I'm sure you could also follow us at our social medias at Payday Parlays on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm sure you'll see this posting and result tomorrow morning because I don't know if I'm staying up tonight to see the end. I'll probably do better if I don't watch it anyway.
Well, I think it's been a great first episode, and like bear with us, guys, as we're also trying to get better at this. And as we do more episodes, we'll get better, and give us your feedback so that we can improve.
We'll leave you with this: the Super Bowl of auto racing this Sunday, the Daytona 500. Matt, do you know any names of any NASCAR drivers? Like any idea of who you would want to win the Great American Race on Sunday afternoon?
I don't think I know a single. Bubba Watson. That's the only one in our.
Bubba Watson. That's a golfer. That's a good try, though.
What is that guy? What is
Wallace?
Bubba Wallace.
There we go.
Well,
if you didn't know this, he's racing under a team. He's racing the black and red 23 car on Sunday, a team that is split owned between Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan will be making his NASCAR debut as an owner.
Sorry, I apologize.
You're good. Go ahead.
Have the Jordan on the car?
That would be really cool. I thought I honestly dreamed of like a black and white, kind of just black and white car with a giant Jumpman logo on the hood. Would be a really sick looking paint job for a car. I definitely
Zane prophesized this. He dreamed it.
So maybe a pairing made in heaven. I'm a partial to Ryan Blaney. He came close last year, finished second. Hope to see him do that again. Maybe. If not, Bubba Wallace, though, mentioning him, his best career finish comes at Daytona, second place finish a few years ago. So New team, new equipment, and maybe he can show out for his debut there with the 23 car.
And for viewers that are also like me and don't know much about NASCAR, is there like how does finish? Can you bet like finish in the top 10, finish in the top? How does that work?
It depends what site you're looking at. The only thing I see on my preferred placement there with FanDuel Sportsbook is just picking the driver to win and the odds on that. I'm sure there's some partnerships out there. Like I know MGM Sportsbook is a sponsor of one of the NASCAR teams or NASCAR as a whole. So I bet they have some different options. DraftKings, they typically run a lot of NASCAR stuff too. But yeah, you can do like head-to-head matchups like Denny Hamlin versus Brad Keselowski, who's going to finish higher, or you could probably pick drivers to finish in the top 10 and whatnot. And a lot of people really like fantasy lineups for NASCAR. That's a fun way to enjoy the race too. Setting a fantasy lineup, picking six drivers, staying under the salary cap, and you get points for passes, points for lead changes, laps led, fastest lap times, and all those add up to your team to try to finish in place. But, I mean, even as a casual, just sports fan, people know what the Daytona 500 is, and a lot of people tune in for at least that race out of all of them for the season. So not much else to watch other than maybe some soccer on the weekends now, basketball. But the major sports are now turning the corner, kind of in a limbo period.
We'll have some EPL and some college basketball bets this weekend, and maybe some NBA. The NBA has just been really hard to bet this year.
I stay away from NBA. Staying away from it. Live bets maybe if I see some nice swing options there, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great first episode. And guys, remember to rate and review us. Let us know what you think. Help us, give us feedback so we can improve. And where can they check us out, Zane? What do they need to sign up for?
Subscribe on our website, Payday Parlays. Get our article, our blogs, our opinions. Great reads to kill some time, and obviously feel free to give your feedback, argue with us. We're happy to hear what you have to say and your plays for the week. Jump in on the No Way Parlay with us too. Post your idea of one of those. maybe we get lucky here in the coming weeks on one of
And
these.
we want to see somebody win.
Do we have to change the name if we hit one of these? Do we have to change the name for No Way Parlay if you hit one?
If we win one, it's big payday. It's like payday. I don't
know. All right.
But we'll and if No Way Parlay, if it, we don't like it, we can change it. Well, like, you guys tell us what you guys think.
I like it. Engage the whole 2 listeners we may get from this first episode.
Me and you.
Yeah, it'll be me and you going back and critiquing ourselves. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys.
So yeah, have a good night.